Cool, so let's go ahead and fix up some of these fins. So on the top here we can go in and let's drop to editable poly. And let's give the flow connect a try. Ouch, that didn't look exactly how I wanted it, so I'm just going to undo that, get rid of it, and I'll just connect them. And I will edit those how I feel it should look. And I'll do the same for down here as well. With this guy, let's just ring around. And let's try the flow connect again. Alright, no, it's not working. So I'm going to undo that. And right click and connect. And I'll fix those up. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a nicer shape just by moving these out a bit. Let's get rid of, I still have my edge constraint on, so let's remove that. And just bring this around. So just getting these a bit more evenly spaced anyway than what they were. Cool. Can jump into perspective mode for this. This actually looks okay. I don't really mind that. Looks quite nice. Alright. And back to the tail. Okay, so the tail we haven't really touched too much. Generally, I think, you know, it looks okay. I tell you what, let's take a look at what it's going to look like with a mesh smooth on it. So, let's jump back to the symmetry modifier. And I'm going to use mesh smooth, and I'm using that deliberately other than turbo smooth. I like mesh smooth purely because I can view it through NURMS. So let's go to scroll down to mesh smooth, and I'm using NURMS subdivision. Let's turn off edge faces just for a second. Let's see where the mesh really isn't looking too great. So around here we really need to work on the shape a little bit. And this back fin looks okay, but I think it could use, it looks a little bit too straight, not organic enough, so it could use a little bit of work on that as well. And just around these smaller fins at the side as well, those guys could use some shape, just some tweaks. So I'm going to remove the mesh smooth, drop down to editable poly, turn on my edge faces, and let's get just refining this a little bit more. Cool, so now it's just pushing and pulling points until this is going to look a bit nicer than what it is. So I can see, just off doing that mesh smooth, it really helps me figure out whereabouts I need to really work on all of these things just to make them look a bit nicer. So let's pull this guy in. This one here as well. So I'm just eyeballing once again. You know, I don't really, we've only got one reference image at the side here as well, so it's really down to you as an artist to come up with what it's really going to look like in 3D at the end of the day. Obviously you need to follow along with as closely as possible to your reference images, but generally, you know, you can get away with quite a bit if you don't have too much, or at least that's what I've found anyway. Alright, let's just gonna grab all of these. Just gonna give this a bit more shape, so I'm moving away from, maybe a little bit away from what's on my reference, but I'm doing this for a good reason, so let's continue this. So this guy, you know, this guy could definitely use a bit more shape as well, so let's pull this in around here as well. And this one out, and this one can come out as well. And these can actually start coming in, with this being the fin at the top. Yeah, this is way too thick. Let's move him in. It's going to make him a bit more agile and streamlined, maybe too much out. Alright, so let's move this guy down a bit, just to keep it more in line. Alright. So it looks okay. We definitely need to start thinking about putting in more loops so that these loops are more evenly spaced, because right now you can see, we've got a buildup of loops around here and here where we've cleaned up these edges and made them look a bit nicer and stuff, but we don't have a buildup around here or around here at the front as well, and especially at this tail on the back. So this is down to, we're gonna have to push some points. We're gonna have to come in here, do what we were doing before, just ring this and connect. That already looks a little bit nicer. We've got more loops in there to play with, and we need something in here as well, so we need to really connect these together. So I'm just going to use my cut tool, so Alt and C, and cut between these. And you can see that we've made two triangles at the back, which isn't a big deal because two triangles we can make into some quads. Alright, and let's start moving some of these points around so that they get a bit more flow to them. Let's move these in down a bit. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just going in and starting to fix up some of these loops and make them look a bit nicer, and get some more flow into this as well, and maybe work out something for here. And then we'll get into refining all of these and making sure that we've got more smooth edges and more nice flow on this guy. So I'll leave the video here for now, and if you guys get in and start pushing some points.